hyped up, but
Oh, I guess I'll start. Hi, I'm Hana. I'm Minse's wife and deputy shepherd to Tokyo House Church, previously shepherded by Danny and Joyce Lee. We were actually up here this past October giving our shepherd's testimony as we stepped up after multiplication, and now we're on the stage again giving a testimony only 7 months later to share that we're moving out of Houston in a week due to Minse matching to residency in another city. We didn't expect our time in Houston and our time as deputy shepherds to be so short. However, due to Minse being a fourth-year medical student, when Tokyo House Church multiplied, we knew that this could be a possibility. So, during my shepherd's wife's testimony in October, I shared a little bit about my begrudging heart towards House Church and how I did not want to become a shepherd for the longest time. When I first joined New Life 2 years ago, I was experiencing doubt about the validity and realness of Christ and stored a lot of bitterness, hurt, and anger towards Christianity. Regarding House Church, I only joined because I married Minse. I wanted to live my own life without people challenging and encouraging me to live a life in the fullness of Christ, and I did not want to change or have any accountability. At that time, aside from my literal repulsion at the thought of becoming a shepherd, I truly believed that I was not fit, nor did I have the ability to be a shepherd. Before stepping up as deputy shepherd, I had a long list of excuses on why I did not want to shepherd, and one of the biggest logistical reasons that made sense to not shepherd was the fact that we had the possibility of Minse matching to a program outside of Houston only 5 months after multiplication, which meant the house church would go through yet another voting and new shepherd process, which sounded unstable and didn't seem fair to the members. So that sounded like a legit enough reason to escape shepherding, but my old shepherds were like, nah. Just kidding. They said something more profound than that, but that's basically what they said. My other reasons were a bit more selfish. I wanted to spend as much time with Minse before he started residency because time is a luxury. And I wanted to continue working towards my own goals of getting clinical hours in my career without spreading my time and energy devoting it to shepherding for house church. I also didn't want to be in a position where there would be more expectations and accountability placed on me. Outwardly, I would say I wanted to keep growing, but I didn't actually take any steps to follow through with that. Basically, I was a complacent life sucker. Surprisingly, God changed my heart little by little, and for us, He challenged Minse and I to experience Him deeper through shepherding, regardless of my perceived inabilities, selfishness, and unstable future life plans. When we stepped up as shepherds, it actually felt pretty weird. Minse and I had led small groups, served in other avenues at our previous churches, but it was the first time we served alongside one another in the same ministry. To be completely honest, for a while, I kept telling Minse I didn't know if I could keep shepherding because I was so overwhelmed and discouraged at times. There were moments where we felt really alone and sad. However, we found support from our house church, village, and our previous shepherds, which opened our eyes further to the different aspects of community God provides us. Additionally, in the midst of the difficulties, we both experienced moments that were so sweet and life-giving during our short time. We got to see and experience members stepping up to take bigger roles within our house church. We saw people grow to seek a deeper life with Christ and had the honor of witnessing a VIP member receive Jesus. I started experiencing how joyful it was to see God moving and working so intimately in people's lives, and in turn, that gradually transformed my heart. I never understood when Pastor Eric talked about serving being an honor, but I think I understand now. Somewhere along the way, shepherding was no longer something I felt negatively about. Instead, shepherding and partnering alongside God in His work became an honor and a bigger blessing to me than anything. Furthermore, regardless of the member situation in the state of house church, Minse and I actually started seeing differences in our own lives and marriage. Our spiritual lives, our prayer lives, and our hearts changed. Although it doesn't feel like we did much for house church, I honestly think God worked in our own lives and marriage by showing us how beautiful and fulfilling marriage can be when we serve God together with one purpose and a joined heart. In our 7 years of being together, these past 7 months was actually by far the coolest, most fulfilling season, and the one filled with most growth individually and as a couple. I look back at the times when I felt so complacent and bitter towards God, and I feel so thankful I'm not in that place anymore, as it was a very hard place to be. My heart was constantly longing for more without having the courage to fully commit. Our shepherding career was pretty short, but in a way, these past 7 months resurrected my bitter and empty heart by reminding me that there is so much more to this life when we live for Christ. Through this time, God showed us that sometimes His plans don't always fall in the realm of our timing, convenience, and logistics. I would not take this time back for anything, as it has blessed our lives 100 times more than we even knew to expect. If those doubts, lies, and excuses stopped me from taking the step to obey, I would not have experienced all these blessings. I'm very sad that we're unable to stay in Houston and be with our house church longer. However, I know that ultimately this is God's house church and it's in good hands. I feel that the things I learned from this past year have transformed my perspective, and I'll take that with me wherever God places us. Hopefully, we can be a light in our new communities and continue to do God's work in all the places and ways that He calls us to. Thanks.
Good morning. So I'm not a man of many words, so mine will be a little shorter. My name is Minse. I've been shepherding Tokyo House Church with my wife, Hana, for the past 7 months. Yeah, we probably said it like 10 times already, but we gave our testimony back in October. You might be wondering why we're giving a biannual update of our house church. Actually, we're here today because, I found that I was matched in San Antonio for my residency, and when we met with Pastor Eric, he was like, "You guys should give a testimony," and so here we are. He asked us to share a brief testimony about how our shepherding has been, our reflections on our short-lived career. While it is really sad to think about leaving our house church and our larger church community, I wanted to take some time to focus on my reflections and the lessons I've learned throughout the past 7 months as a shepherd of Tokyo House Church. So in a Pastor Eric fashion, even though he's not here, I have a 6-point summary of my reflections. The first one is that the Holy Spirit works through every single person as long as they participate in house church. Over the past 6 to 7 months, we have had conversations with several members during which we challenged them perhaps to change a lot of their lives, anything like hidden sins, making big life decisions, deeply rooted patterns and tendencies they have. And despite the awkwardness and uncomfortableness in these conversations, I witnessed that a lot of the members were growing and genuinely thinking about their own lives and their decisions and what we had to say. Second point is that house church is not meant to be just a social gathering. It's a place for rest, healing, and growing. In our short term as shepherds, our house church members endured various hardships, and the heartache that we shared together allowed us to get deeper into each other's lives. It was evident that the Holy Spirit was opening all of our hearts to share all of our heartaches together with one another and experience healing, restoration, and rest in time of suffering. The third point is that when you think you're doing a lot, there's always someone doing more. As we shepherded, like Hannah said, we often felt like we were really being pushed to our limits. However, I learned that through shepherd's meeting, village meeting, and just serving with other shepherds, I learned that there are a lot of shepherds and shepherds' wives who will go above and beyond for their house church members. In a way, stepping up as a shepherd is a quick way to practice upward mobility in terms of doing kingdom work. The fourth point is that shepherding is a great way to take marriage to the next level. As Hannah also shared, we shared many joys and hardships of leading our house church. Shepherding our house church together became a strong source of spiritual unity in our marriage. It was also really exciting to put our very different spiritual gifts together to do ministry as one entity. And then fifth point is that VIPs are very important. About a month ago, one of our VIPs came to Christ. And recently, he shared about how he feels more hopeful about his life and the world that we are living in. Seeing the very apparent changes in his words, his thoughts, and even his facial expressions made me think of how much God desires for all his children to come to him to experience a deep level of joy and peace that comes from him only. And the last point is that God wouldn't be God if everything he did made sense to us. From the start, as Hannah has said, shepherding was not on our agenda. I was graduating medical school. We have been attending this church for maybe like 3 years, and a year and a half for Hannah. Yet we somehow became shepherd, and we obeyed to become one. And when we started to love shepherding our house church and decided that we want to stay in Houston, God was like, nah. So throughout our time, we frequently encountered situations and events that went in an unexpected turn. However, looking back, we are confident that everything has been, is, and is still in God's control for Tokyo House Church, regardless of our presence here. Thanks for listening to my rather simple reflections. Before I end my testimony, I want to challenge anyone who's out there who has been presented to the opportunity to serve God in any capacity, but you're telling yourself, oh, but I can't do that because of this. Oh, not now because I have this going on. To just take a leap of faith and see where God takes you, because God is full of surprises. Thank you.